Afternoon, legends. Welcome to Rob's Fat Loss Swimming Pool. Now, if you've been in the program a while, you've probably heard of this analogy, but I've stepped it up a level because I've come across a lot of the similar struggles over the last while with individuals in the program. And I think this is going to eradicate a lot of that and change your perspective on things. Okay. So ultimately, I want to talk about weight loss today or fat loss, like whatever you call it, it's all the same thing. Okay. And ask yourself this: how many times have you found yourself having a wobble because of one or more of these instances? It might be that you've put on a pound, or that you've not lost weight this week, or maybe you thought you would lose more because you did a lot more than usual. Or it could be that you've done things in the past and you got a bigger result. Or that no matter how hard you train an area, it might be your stomach, your legs, or whatever, it's just stubborn and it's not going anywhere. Or that you want to see a bigger change, or that you're doing all the work and nothing's quite happening. Okay. I was up all night drawing this to eradicate those questions you keep asking yourself. So this is meant to be, remember, I'm not an artist, a cross section of a swimming pool. Like the walls of the pool, so these things around, they represent everything about you. They're strong and they're not going anywhere. There's obviously a shallow end and there's a deep end. Okay. The water in the pool, so all this stuff in this gap here, that represents the weight you want to lose or the body fat you want to lose. Like I said, whatever you want to call it. Now, we're all here to change the contents of that swimming pool, whether it's drop body fat, lose weight, build muscle, run a marathon, or whatever your goal is. We're all here to change the contents of that swimming pool. And as you can see, I have kindly color coded the walls. Okay. With things that are going to influence your body fat or your weight. And that might look like the food that you're eating, stresses in life, like just stubborn areas that we keep targeting, the exercise you do. Okay. And what I want you to ask yourself is, wherever we choose to bail water out of the swimming pool, whether it's the deep end or the shallow end, it's always going to influence the same thing, isn't it? Like this water level is going to drop no matter where we choose to bail out of it. So, for example, we might focus heavily on our food. Okay, well, let's put a plug here. We might put a hole in the swimming pool here, and we're draining it out there because we're focusing on eating clean. We're not drinking alcohol. We're cutting carbs. We're just eating meat because we're veggie, whatever they may be. It's still going to influence the shallow area first. You may be training obsessively, or you might have a challenge in place. You might have hobbies. You might be training for a half marathon or just doing extra sessions. We're draining it there. It's still going to influence the shallow area first. You might be working on managing your stress and working on boundaries. So we're looking at improving your sleep. It could even be, if you're female, like time in the month, we could be looking at getting better at responding to that. We could be working on setting boundaries around work. Wherever we choose to drain it, it's still always going to influence that shallow area first. Okay, so whatever you choose to focus on, and you may have experienced this before, okay, you're always going to see similar sort of changes. That'll be that you always lose weight in the same place, like it drops from your face. You see it in your legs. Maybe your gut goes down. Generally, you feel better. You have more energy. You're more motivated. You always see the same sort of results, no matter do where you try drain from. Okay, whether it is that you focus on a challenge, or you focus on your diet, or you focus on your sleep, you always see the same return. You feel better, you see a change in your shape, you lose a bit of weight, well-being's through the roof. Okay. And like I said, you'll find yourself feeling better, but I'm a firm believer that is always a break point in your journey. There is always going to be a break point. And that's why in this program, because in the past, that break point has broke you. And like this is a point where you achieve all these superficial things, like you just generally feel better. You're not as don't feel as crap as you did. You've got more energy, like your arms, your face is changing, people are commenting, you just feel better. Okay. You're happier, and we essentially take our foot off the gas. It's like, well, I don't need to be as disciplined now. I feel better. Win-win. Or it could be that maybe on the flip side of that, you're not seeing the results. You're like frustrated. I'm cutting out all my food. I'm saying no, and I'm still not seeing the results. I might as well just sack it off. Or it could be that life's too stressful. You're moving house, change jobs, you lost your job, a bereavement. It could be anything. Life's just too stressful. This broke you. Okay. So you start thinking, what's the point? This is your break point here. Okay. And essentially, we stop and we press that fuck it button. But in those moments, when you put on that £1 or I don't know, you lost your job or whatever it is that broke you in that moment, okay, it could be that life just threw this massive curveball at you. If you were to have carried on bailing out, okay, at that moment, okay, you were like, right, this is tough, but I still need to do this. I'm going to keep bailing the water. Okay, you would have achieved a hell of a lot more possible. And I've got some examples here because, like, obviously, before it was all the superficial stuff. You see the change in your arms, your legs, your well-being, your weight. But when you see it through, okay, it starts to influence a lot more. People around you start making better choices. Your kids start eating healthier. Your wife starts eating healthier. Opportunities arise. Maybe people start noticing they want to be around you a little bit more. You make better choices. You say no to alcohol on a Friday night because you just don't get the value from it. You start socializing with people who are interested in what you're interested in. Behaviors change. You feel more confident about yourself. You're more motivated. You're actually happy because you've broken through that break point. What I want you to get from this whole analogy is that wherever you choose to put this hole in the wall, wherever you choose, okay, to put it, to drain it out, keep at it. Even when you hit this break point, keep at it. Because as you remain consistent, this water level is going to drop. Let's get a nice color on here. So it's going to drop because you've remained consistent. You've kept bailing. And then before you know it, results are going to start coming thick and thin. Even when you hit that break point, okay? And the funny thing is, when you go past that break point and you start to feel all these things, you start to get more energy. You have the capacity to add in more drains. Maybe when you started, you could only focus on your food, but now you're stepping up. You're training for an event now, but you're also saying no to things. You're finishing work at a certain time because you actually want to be with your family. Okay. You're actually enjoying food a little bit more now. You're maybe able to go out every now and again with friends and get back on track straight away. And we're draining more water. And guess what? Because we're draining more water, the level drops again because we went through that break point. And this is, like I said, when it gets exciting because all that superficial stuff that you think you care about will also keep coming. Okay. You will still keep achieving all this stuff. You don't care about that. It's this stuff that you really want, that feeling behind it all. And that's really exciting because you're going to keep bailing the water. You're going to keep achieving things. So if you are struggling right now, or maybe you're at that break point or a penny has dropped, keep bailing the water out in whatever area that is for you. Okay, keep bailing it out. Don't sack it off because it's on its way. Now, I've got a little bit of a side note on this. This is specifically around weight changes. So let's just say you weighed 100 pounds and you drank a pint of water, which is around £1. How much do you think you'd weigh right now? So you weighed 100 pounds, okay? You drank a pint of water, which is £1. You would weigh 101 pounds, okay? Weight changes are normal, but as you eat and drink and then you metabolize it all, like your body will start to, and you start to live your life, sorry, it's going to average itself out. Just because you put on a pound 1 week after losing 3 the week before, it doesn't matter. You probably haven't eaten as much in 1 week than another. No one eats the same calories every week. No one eats exactly 2,500 calories. Okay, so just because you lost 3 in 1 week and then only 2 in another, that's not because you've done something wrong. That's probably just the value of what you've eaten. And just this equation alone should get you realizing that, okay, if you weigh a pound more because you drank a pound of water, is that fat that you've put on, or is that just because you drank a pound of water and then you go to the toilet and then you lose it again? It's not actual body fat. So look at the average, okay? Because the net loss is still the net loss. So, okay, you lost £3 1 week, but you put on one. You still lost £2, okay? That's the average. Next equation. Let's just say you weighed £100, okay? And you put on £5 of muscle. You put on £5 of muscle because you've been training like a superhero. Okay. But you then lost £5 of fat because you've been training like a superhero. What's the net loss? 0. You haven't lost weight this week. But you've put on £5 of muscle and you've dropped £5 of fat. Okay. So next time you don't see a change, remember it's not always a bad thing. Look at the facts, train yourself to rationalize it, then just move on with your life, because you could waste energy on all this stuff, which will mean we start plugging in all these holes. Okay, I'm going to quickly do this. We start plugging in all these holes. And essentially, what we do, you know what I'm going to do here with my great art skills, we just start filling the swimming pool back up again, and they end up back where we started. So we've now, just because of a number, we've just sabotaged straight away. That's a wrap. When you've listened to this, give me your feedback. I'm really proud of this, but I hope this rationalizes a lot, and come back to this if you find yourself feeling this way at any point. Have an awesome week.